I put my trust in you, and I trust in love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love. I put my trust in you, and I trust in love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love.
Hello, friends. My name is Tate Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain. We're your fuck buddies.
We are an award-nominated sex and dating advice show where we take your sticky, sexy situations and turn them into sexy, sticky situations.
Simply put, we find questions either online or from our wonderful listeners, and we answer them right here, right now, on the topic of sex and dating. Now, Dan, we got a lot to talk about.
It is quite possibly the earliest we've ever recorded.
I don't know. That early.
I don't know if you can tell, but I've got my morning voice.
We do both have a little morning croak.
We've got a little bit of that.
Add to the podcast.
Yeah, a little bit of that morning DJ.
Yeah, welcome to Niall and Dane in the morning. We're going to send you driving off to work with some good sex and dating advice questions.
Anyway, here are the wallflowers, one headlight.
So, first of all, we were number one in Namibia last week.
Obviously.
So that's fucking cool. Shout out to Namibia. Love you guys. Thank you. Number two, right now, we'll do some sex news if you're amenable to that.
Hey man, I literally woke up 10 minutes ago, so I'm ready to do whatever. I'm just a malleable piece of clay ready to be shaped and molded for the day.
Perfect. Well, currently, since last Monday, which was the 3rd of October, there is a landmark 5-day Superior Court hearing led by a coalition of sex workers and sex worker-led groups in Canada, hoping to get sex work fully decriminalized, arguing that the 2014 laws that went into place are, in fact, more harmful, or at least still harmful to them. So that's ongoing right now, which could be a big deal if it goes through.
That would be great. Any law against sex work doesn't stop. It's like abortions. You know what I mean? Like banning.
Well, that's literally what's been happening. So they didn't make it illegal to be a sex worker, but they made it illegal to, be someone who, I guess, purchases sex work or like engages like a third party, which meant that they're dealing with terrified clients who are bringing them to ever more unsafe locations just so that they don't get caught, putting sex workers in more danger, which is one of the many things that they are effectively arguing against. So that's a pretty big deal going on right now.
Yeah. It's one of those things where the rhetoric for banning abortions quite often is like, oh, you can't ban abortions, you can just ban safe abortions, and sex work is the same thing. The people have been using sex workers and sex services forever, and the only thing that comes from making it legal and criminalized is, you can't report any crimes against you because you would therefore be like, admitting to a crime yourself. Mm-hmm. So it's so ridiculous.
That's another part of it, is that it doesn't let any like immigrants engage in sex work. They're like exempt from the fact that sex work is not illegal, but it is if you're not a Canadian citizen. So a lot of immigrants engaged in sex work are now unable to come forward if they're a victim of violence or anything else, because then they themselves are in charge. The whole thing, it's pretty fucked. So hopefully this will work out, and hopefully we will make good strides forward.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I got more sex news. There's a new dating app on the scene. Have you heard about this?
I know.
Okay, so it's called The Right Stuff.
Ooh, this sounds bad.
Now, what do you think it is?
I'm assuming it's a conservative right wing.
Yeah, you fucking nailed it. You fucking nailed it. It's an invite only conservative dating app where you're not allowed. Pronouns are banned. It's safe from pronouns, as they say. You're also not allowed to be gay on it. It also shares the name with a neo-Nazi blog called The Right Stuff.
I mean, it's not exactly the most creative name, but like, hey, I'm sure many failed marriages will be born from this wonderful app.
Well, they might not be because women aren't joining.
What?
They've offered, so women join, they get premium subscription for free. All they have to do is invite a few friends. Men have to pay for the premium subscription. I think I heard 95 to 96% of its user base were men, and they're very upset.
Yeah. I mean, which, you know what, kind of surprises me considering how many, right-wing profiles we get on Tinders. But that's also very, like, we're talking about like 5 or 6, in the mix of Tinder, which is, that's a drop in the pond.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. They seem prevalent because they're so fucking bizarre, but like it's not that many. So I'll just hit you with a few things. So another funny thing is they're already in a legal dispute because there's a third thing called The Right Stuff, and it's also a dating service. And as they say in their own words, their dating service is for people, or the existing dating service is for people with higher levels of education, and many of them are left wing. So they definitely don't like the confusion. So they're suing the right wing already. One of their big funders is a gay Republican, so he's funding a product he's not able to use. The irony
there's an openly gay Republican?
Yeah, if I could get this person's name.
Yeah, wild to me.
Yeah, maybe they're not even gay. I don't know. Sorry, I took screenshots of a lot of the stuff.
No, I don't necessarily need to know this. I would have assumed that this would have come across my desk at some point in time.
Oh, it is now, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Peter Thiel. Okay, so I guess he's not a politician. He's a like billionaire entrepreneur, venture capitalist, and political activist, but he's staunch Republican and gay and backing this thing, even though it will not let him use it.
I love the idea of him just being like, God damn it, we just need more Republican babies, so I need to do my part to make absolutely brilliant matches.
Yeah. Just the irony of it being a safe space free from pronouns. But yeah, Kayleigh McEnany or whatever, the like Trump like press secretary or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
So she's part of it as well. She's basically spearheading the movement trying to bring more women on. And Republican staffers report that many young conservative women, instead of taking on her personal outreach, have instead jeeringly passed around screenshots of her messages to group chats. Everyone involved in the app is very scared that it's vulnerable to trolling, which is why it's invite only. On top of that, I'm sure it comes as no surprise, between all the many images and promotional images, there's one black person in the back of a collage of male users. That's it. Everyone else white.
Shocking. Hey, I'm surprised they had that much.
You know what? Yeah. And now in
Honestly,
their own words, sorry.
It's probably just stock images that they just like, they only had a certain amount of budget, and that was like the last pitch, and they were like, fuck, okay, I guess we'll go with this one.
That intern got fired that day.
Yeah.
Uninvited from The Right Stuff. In their words, it is for conservatives to connect in authentic and meaningful ways. Other dating apps have gone woke. We bring people together with shared values and similar passions. Jokes such as swipe white and the Reich stuff have been abound. And I think I'll just leave you with two things. One is that the founder, who used to work for Trump, founded it because he found this very difficult to date people. I wonder why.
Huh.
But then I would like you to guess, because it's similar to Hinge, where it gives you prompts. Guess 2 prompts. I have 2 prompts here, and I wonder if you can guess what they are.
This is very broad, but okay.
But like you know what I'm aiming for.
One is, let's go ...
Okay, close ish.
The other one is, I'm trying to think, like something like, if you were stuck on a desert island, what civil right would you take away?
You know what? I really like your let's go ... because I can imagine just how impotently angry people would be, because we've seen the prompts in general. They're never done correctly. So it's like, let's go ... to the beach. It's like, no, you idiot. No, we have my favorite liberal lie is ...
Hell yeah.
Right. And we also have January 6th was ... And I'm not joking.
Oh,
Isn't that
boy.
just good? Isn't that just good? It reads so much like a parody, it's not even funny.
I love how they're like, oh no, we're actually very concerned about trolling. Meanwhile, I'm not convinced that this isn't in and of itself a brilliant troll.
Maybe Mr. Thiel is like, yo, fuck these guys. He's like, yeah, I'll back you, but you gotta do this. And they're like, hell yeah. And he's like, you idiots.
Well, this guy's just like, it's so hard for me to date. What I'm going to do is make a dating service where only men go on. So I've removed them from the dating pool.
Oh.
Right? Now he's the only shitty person on whatever dating app he uses.
Damn.
Let's be fair. Probably fucking eHarmony.
Yeah, as he just corralled all the fucking assholes. Yeah, it's like there's such a wealth of funny fucking information about all this that it's just like,
Also, isn't The Right Stuff like a Mel Gibson romantic comedy?
maybe.
Or Jack Nicholson?
Also, maybe. This is a comedy. It doesn't sound very romantic, though.
I don't know. The Right Stuff is a apparently an astronaut movie.
Oh, okay. Is it about them, well, being racist on the moon? Because that would check out.
I mean, it was made in 1983. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, there we go. That's some sex news for you right there. I think we should feign a Republican account and try to get on this app.
Yeah, who's inviting you?
I don't. Apparently, well, we should just pretend we're a Republican woman, and they'll be like, frothing at the mouth to get us on.
Yeah, like I would love to know their like vetting process, because like
I imagine it's very minimal. They don't tend to do things well.
Yeah, just like make a Twitter account or something and be like, I'll join.
Yeah.
Hee hee.
Tee-hee.
Literally just me in a blonde wig. I haven't even shaved my beard. Just that's what my profile picture is going to be. I'm pretty sure I have a blonde wig somewhere.
And then when people be like, hey, you're a man, be like, no pronouns, dude.
Hey, yeah, please.
What the fuck?
Please.
Are you a liberal cook? All right, ready? Ready to jump in some questions?
I just, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I see this a lot. I get a lot of my like Facebook suggested things are Marvel related. Big Marvel nerd, and the anger that some people have, especially the past couple shows like Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. Women and women of color, superheroes, and the amount of people who get so angry about them.
Mm-hmm. It's fucking scary.
It's so fucking funny that for some reason the left and people who are more liberal in their politics are the ones who are like branded as snowflakes and branded as the overly sensitive ones. But we're upset about things like, hey, don't take people's body autonomy away from them.
Yeah.
And they're upset that a fictional giant green strong woman did do a twerk with Megan Thee Stallion.
There's also like they were upset that Cartoon Bunny not as sexy anymore.
Yeah, like the things that people get upset about on the right are like, you remember when everyone was burning their shoes because of Colin Kaepernick? They were just like, oh, I've had enough of you, Nike. There was just like, there was a whole viral trend of right-wing people burning their shoes in their backyard.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's funny, though, because I think what seems to happen a lot is that the right tend to claim that other people are doing something, and then it almost immediately comes out that that's what they're doing. So I think it's all like that misdirection. It's like, you snowflakes! And it's like, Lola Bunny. You're like, okay. Are you good, bro?
You okay?
Like, well, you safe spaces. Anyway, here's our invite-only app. You cannot use pronouns, and you could not be anything but us. It's a joke. Ready?
Yeah, I am.
I'm going to ease you into the questions with one of our favorite repeat listeners.
Oh, man, hold on. Is it Pinot Boy Toy?
It's Pinoy Boy Toy.
Did
you see the question?
I didn't.
Oh. Love it.
I just know that whenever we get a question from him, I need to strap in because it's going to be, can I guess that it's like, I was on a super yacht with 900 absolutely gorgeous women. Am I close?
He was on an absolutely gorgeous women on 900 super yachts. You were very close.
Damn it. I knew it. I'm
gonna just jump in.
Okay.
It's Pinoy Boy Toy. Hey boys, it didn't work out with the last girl who lived 2 hours away. I asked to meet her halfway, and she didn't make an effort, so that was it for me.
Damn.
Good job. I like that you're setting... What?
I'm just saying, sorry it didn't work out, but yes, you're right.
Good job. I like that you're setting boundaries. You're looking after yourself. Fuck yeah. I am sorry it didn't work out. I ended up pushing through with the supposed foursome, but it ended up as a threesome because the other model pussied out at the last minute. Alas, only a threesome. I'm dating someone new, though, and she's amazing. We went out a couple of times already. The problem is, our schedule doesn't seem to match. She's quite busy with her career and business, and I have a lot on my plate. We have to reschedule dates at times. She's a strong, independent woman, but I feel like we're not progressing at the pace I want it to be. We only see each other like 1 or 2 times a month. As a result, I will go out on dates with other girls, but half the time I end up thinking of her. I feel like she also goes out with other guys, but I haven't really asked. To be honest, at this point in time, I'm getting tired of all these one-night stands and meaningless sex with women I know I won't pursue a relationship with. I really like this girl, but I don't want to seem needy, and she obviously has plenty of options. With her being a famous influencer, I'm quite sure a lot of guys have been trying to shoot their shot. What advice do you have for me, boys? I'm really into her, and I don't want to fuck this up. How come it's so easy to get girls you're not really attracted to, but when it comes to the ones you like, I second-guess my actions and tend to be more careful with my words? Fuck, help me, haha.
I feel this on a lot of levels. First and foremost, the whole, why is it easy to attract the people you're not interested into is because our brains are actively working against us at every possible moment.
All times.
When we aren't trying to attract people, we're more ourselves. We're more natural. We are more confident. There isn't this, as you said, second guessing. There's this insecurity. There's like, you're not like, oh, I want to look sexy. Cause like you're sexiest when you're just natural. Like in your skin, you know what I mean? Like you're just like existing as who you are. That's when people exude they're sexy. It's not when they're like, posing and trying to be sexy and like doing everything they can.
Pulling out their canned lines or like not talking about that thing they like because they're worried that the person they're talking to might not find it cool. So they instead talk about something they think is cool that they don't really care about. No. Yeah.
And you start sort of like projecting what you think people would find interesting. You know what I mean? So it's like you're good at a sport. So like you feel like it's necessary to every chance you get shoehorn in that you're, like, oh, I box. I'm a boxer. Oh, the boxing. And it's like, all right, dude, we get it. We don't like, it's just not that interesting. Like be you. That's a big reason. That's why I really, really feel the scheduling thing. Because I have a very weird schedule. As you know, I work in a bar. I exclusively work like weekend nights. And then I have a lot of other obligations. Like Monday nights are for the boys. It is religion. It is my church. And I commit my Monday nights to the boys. Tuesdays, usually, or like every other Tuesdays, I'm recording for 4 hours our other podcast, No Quest for the Wicked. It's an actual play podcast.
More like 5 or 6, depending.
Yeah. Right. So like that's usually a full night. Wednesday nights, I know we're recording this on a Tuesday morning, but Wednesday nights are also when we record this show.
And sometimes we record 2 if we're doing Pillow Talk.
Yep. So
it's like our Patreon exclusive if you guys haven't heard about that.
Head on over to F Buddies Podcast, click the Patreon link and sign up. So that's 3 of my 7 days. And then I work 12 hours for 3 other days. So I have like 1 day kind of unspoken for that I either have to choose a date or friend hangouts or a recovery day where I like take care of myself.
Yeah.
So
and that's not a good choice because you need all 3 of those things.
Yeah. So I get it. It's tough to make things work. And like, I make it work. But sometimes, unfortunately, if it's a struggle to get going with a schedule and to like just like see each other, like it's not going to get better. And I know that sounds defeatist, but what would need to change is someone would have to give up something that they probably don't want to give up in order to see the other person. So you would have to probably give up an obligation to fit her schedule, or she would have to do, she would have to make some changes and give up something in order to fit your schedule.
No, I don't necessarily agree. There is a certain amount of time, and it's kind of like money. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, let's go do this thing. You're like, oh, I don't have the money for it. And it's like, you might literally have the money for it, but it's just that it's not that important or that pressing, or the money's more important for other things. And time's kind of like that too. So if this is so casual so far, you probably only get allotted certain amounts of time, even if like our Pinoy boy toy here wants a little bit more. So what I'm saying is, like, if you upgrade yourself in terms of like being important, they might have more time for you, right? But that's never going to happen unless you have a talk and are like, hey, I like you. I was just wondering, like, it sucks that I get to see you like once or twice. I was wondering, like, could we try to make this a little bit more of a regular thing, or like talk about schedules and like do it in a non-needy way, just in a way where you're impressing the importance of them to you and the fact that you like them and you want to see them more. Like, I think that's a very doable conversation. And if they are freaked out by that, then you probably don't want to see them anyway. And if they realize how much they mean to you and vice versa, maybe they'll have more time to commit to you because you're a little bit more important now. Because I feel like a lot of people are worried about putting all their eggs in one basket if that basket might not like them back, etc. And I will say, while we're on the topic, with her being a famous influencer, I'm quite sure a lot of guys have been trying to shoot their shot. That's not a good thing. You know what I mean? They're probably fucking sick of that. So I don't think that's something you really need to be worried about.
I think it meant that, like, it wasn't a good thing that all these men were interested. Like,
no, I mean, it's not a good thing for them. Like, anyone I know who gets a barrage of online attention for men, it's agonizing.
Yeah.
No one's like pumped. You know what I mean? Someone's just like, hey, like, if you look at the fucking comments, they're bad. If you see the DMs, they're worse. So it's like finding someone who they like, who, you know, they can see multiple times, who can talk to them like an adult. Like, these are all very important things. Like, that almost makes it less likely that they're loving their pool because they're probably sick of it. I think if it was someone who was super starved for attention and someone came by and was like, hey, girl, that would be far more of a big deal than someone who's just like, ugh, please. Every time their phone beeps, they're probably like, fuck.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. I wasn't saying to give up immediately because this wasn't working. Yes, have the conversation and be like, there have been several people who I really wanted to spend time with where I was just like, okay, how can we make this work? What does it look like? What can we do? You know, is it a matter of maybe doing things sort of outside the usual, you know, quote unquote date time? Like, are we going to do afternoon hangs? Are we going to do, you know, sort of like midweek Tuesday night hangs? Like, what works for you? And yeah,
even
absolutely.
Like, are we going to squeeze in a half an hour coffee one day if we're both like in a certain neighborhood? Like, I don't know what they do for work. I don't know what you do for work, but like maybe that is possible. You know what I mean? Because you seem to like her. It's not like you just want to squeeze in an extra fuck. So maybe you can meet for coffee for half an hour. You know what I mean? That could be like, I remember when I was starting my current relationship, like even just those small, you know, flash in the pan meetups really kind of like buoy you through the week.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So absolutely, like maybe you have a day that tends to not be filled with much. Be like, hey, look, my Tuesdays are usually pretty open. I would love, like, I really like hanging out with you, and I'd love to see you more regularly. Like, if you could free up a Tuesday, I'd love to like see you. I'd love to do something. I'd love to make Tuesdays like our thing. And then go from there and see what you can kind of finesse and wiggle in, because Niall made a very good point that people will do their best to make the time for you if they want to. And I'm not saying that people who are busy, because like, again, I'm really busy, and there are people who I do want to see where it's just like it just doesn't work. But
yeah, like sometimes there is no wiggle room. Not wriggle room. I guess that they both work. And that sucks. And, you know, if someone is telling you that, like, you got to take them at face value, because people are fucking busy.
But it's also, if the conversations keep happening, if you keep trying to hang out, like if every week you guys sit down and you try to make like plans and it just doesn't work, I think that's a good sign. right? Like it would be different if you're like, hey, what are you up to this week? And they're just like, oh, so busy, sorry. And that's kind of all you get.
You're rescheduling dates and they're happening. That's a very good sign. You know what I mean? Like, this all seems to be a very good sign. It's like the fact that they're busy and they still squeeze you in, no pun intended. All good stuff, you know what I mean? And I think like just having the conversation is super cool. I think it's hard. You have to go very far to seem needy. I think maybe if you don't accept their answers, like if they're like, oh, I'm sorry, like I have, you know, let's say they're a fucking model, like everyone you seem to know. And they're like, oh, I have a shoot for a week. And you're like, oh, okay. And then every day that week when you know they're busy, you're like, oh, I wish you were, you know. That I think would be needy. Or if you keep asking questions that they've answered, or if like, you know, you're wheedling and like begging, those are needy. But if you're just like, hey, I really enjoy hanging out with you, I wish we could do it more. Like, do you think there's a way we could figure out a schedule? Or like, as Dane said, like, oh, I'm free Tuesdays. Like, what are your Tuesdays looking like coming up? Or anything like that. That's not needy. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I think it's also very flattering. No one's going to be like, oh, this person wants to hang out with me more. Ugh, fuck that.
So I think the takeaway here is, one, don't overthink things as much as you can. Just be yourself. You're doing fine, right? Like every time we talk to you, you're drowning in sexual opportunities and gorgeous women. You're fine. You clearly have the ability to attract people, and people are attracted to you. So relax. Sit in that confidence, sit in the knowledge that like this person wouldn't be talking to you and rescheduling dates and hanging out with you if they weren't into you. Mm-hmm. Right. I say it all the time. People decide whether or not they're into you, like in matter of seconds, and no one hangs out with people they're not into. Right.
Yeah,
so.
And especially, as Dane said, like the level of effort being put in. If it was just like every now and then it was like a you up and, you know, they showed up and then you wouldn't see them for like 2 months. And then, you know, maybe you were the third option and they just want to fuck you, which, hey, still not a bad second place. But like if they're putting in this effort and they are very busy and they are rescheduling, they're sticking to that. And like, that's all good stuff.
Yeah. So relax. Take a deep breath, be yourself, try not to like put on a persona or try to guess what they will find attractive, and just be you, because at the end of the day, if they're not attracted to who you are, then it's a waste of time anyway. Right? Because you can't put up a facade. Eventually, at some point in time, the outward, you know, mask that you're wearing will crack. Because I mean, like if this goes somewhere and you guys get together and you move in, they'll see who you are. Right? They'll see the real you, whether you're goofy or nerdy or like whatever it is that you tend to be pushed to the side to project out as your like persona, your confident persona. It'll all come apart at some point in time. So just be yourself. That's number one. Number two, put in an initial effort and really try to figure out something that works for your schedules. Be clear and be honest and direct that you do want to see them and you want to spend more time with them and you're into them.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to like beat around the bush and be like coy and like hint at things and hope that they're going to, you know, just be straight up. Because again, if this is a situation you want to move forward, the longer it doesn't move forward, the worse it's going to be for you. You know what I mean? Like you said, you're going on these dates and you're not enjoying them because you're thinking about this other person. Like if this isn't going to go anywhere, the only way you're going to start enjoying other dates is if you get over this person. And the soonest way to get over this person, if it isn't going to work out, is to be honest and direct and get your expectations up front. And like, if it doesn't work out, yeah, it's going to fucking suck. But at least then you can move on instead of being stuck in this like gray area, like purgatory.
Yeah, exactly. So have these conversations, try to figure it out, put in the effort, be direct, be honest about your intentions. And if it still doesn't work, then you might just have to say, they're not prioritizing me. And it's not going to, there's no point sort of dragging yourself through something that someone isn't returning the amount of effort you're putting in. And that's a call you have to make. We can't make it for you. You'll have to be like, okay, I'm putting in way more than I'm getting. And this now sucks. And I would encourage you at that point in time to do your best to move on and not keep picking at scraps whenever it's thrown your way. Because I think that you're better than that. You're worth more than that. So, you know, hold yourself to a higher standard when it comes to that kind of stuff.
But like this all seems good. Like I'm hoping it's going to work out. There are no bad signs to me. So, you know, hopefully the schedules can work out. And you know what? Sometimes it is just unavoidable and people are just really busy, you know? So if that is the case, like, don't hold it against them because, like, as Dane said, we're fucking busy as hell, right? Like, we do so many things, too many things, you know? That sucks
exactly.
sometimes. But good luck. And thanks for reaching out. Do you want me to hit you with a quick one or you got one for me?
I got one.
I don't know why, because you're sleepy. I just assumed you had none.
No, I got them last night. Okay, this is Virtual Fuel 2627. Hookup asked me to take off condom while doggy her. I, a 35-year-old male, do quite well in dating apps, and last night I took a girl home after meeting her for a few drinks and some random dancing at a bar. After we fool around at my place, I tell her, this is so much fun. I'm gonna go get a condom. And she nods. Everything's great so far. However, after a while, we were doing it doggy, and she turns around, bites her lip, and tells me, take that thing off. I want to feel you inside me. I always use protection with my hookups, but this time I just couldn't say no. She had the most sexiest look, and I really wanted to go bareback. I feel like it was unfair for her to even ask me at that moment. Luckily, I managed to pull out and come on her back. If we had changed positions to her on top, she could have easily made me come inside her. Has she asked for no condom because she felt a moment, or was she trying to get pregnant? She's only 22 in her last year of college, so I doubt she's ready for a kid.
I can't speak to why she would say that. It could well be that she has been socialized or like repeatedly told that that is a sexy thing. And as a result, she's just like, cool, this is now my move. Like, I'm going to pull it on you. Could be that she did just want to feel you without a condom inside her. Could be that it's a kink of hers, or literally I once saw someone who lied about being on birth control and would insist on having unprotected sex, which I usually avoided, but one time. Anyway, people can do fucking insane things with risk.
The flesh was weak.
The flesh was weak. So maybe it is that she did want to get pregnant or has like a breeding fetish or something. I don't fucking know. But was it unfair of her to do that? Kind of. Should you have the fortitude to just say no? Yes.
Yeah, at the end of the day, a request is a request. And if there's a part of you that sits back and says, oh, hey, if she was on top, she could have made me come inside of her, and that's not something that you wanted, then this is not someone you should be having unprotected sex with or having sex with at all.
Also, STDs, dude. Like, there's no surefire way to avoid them. Sure. Like, you know what I mean? There's no judgment if you get one, whatever. But does that mean you shouldn't take precautions? No.
If my general rule is, if someone tells me I don't need to use a condom, that usually is my sign that I should absolutely use a condom. And this, again, isn't a judgment call, but if you're saying not to use a condom with me, I'm going to assume that you're not using a condom with any of your other partners. And no matter how much I trust you, that circle of trust now gets expanded to everyone you've slept with, everyone they've slept with, everyone they've slept. You know what I mean? Like, it goes from me having a sexual experience with one person to me now having a sexual shared experience with potentially hundreds.
Like, it stands to reason that if you're not a big supporter of safe sex, the sex with you is less safe. Like, it's, you know, you're not jumping through mental hoops to figure that out. And I've been there. Like, I don't understand the amount of people who've been like, oh, just don't use a condom. And it's like, no, I will.
I've
had that happen, and I've had to be like, no, I will. And like, it kind of takes the wind out of the sails for like a second. But like, I'm glad I did.
Yeah, at no point in time have I ever looked back and be like, fuck, I really wish I didn't wear a condom.
Yes, 100%. And like, the times where I haven't, I've been eternally grateful that nothing has happened, and have actually wished, like, the person in question that I just mentioned, it turns out they were lying about being on birth control. And I'm like, cool, why the fuck were they doing that? So I wish I had used a condom with them. Luckily, nothing happened, but it definitely could have. And again, I mostly did.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, we've all had moments of weakness. It happens. As much as I am a proponent of using condoms for sex, yeah, have I cracked under the temptations of, you know, a tempting offer? Of course I have. But like you said, every time I have, I've been like, fuck. And then I just sit and I worry for X amount of time being like, yeah. So it's just the peace of mind I get from wearing a condom being like, I feel better about this. And why wouldn't I want to have a sexual experience where in the back of my mind, I'm not like, hey, this could end poorly.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, sure, it's going to feel slightly better in the moment, but weighing that against like 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of panic. You know what I mean? Not great.
Maybe I'm in a small minority. I don't think condoms really dull the sensation that much.
They do though.
Like a little bit, but
Yeah, it's I like it both. I don't really care. It's like I feel like sometimes it can be almost too intense without a condom, where it's like if it's just for my pleasure, great, but it's very rarely just for my pleasure, and I would rather enjoy the experience a little bit longer and like be more in the moment with it than just being like, oh yeah, I'm a dick. It's great.
yeah, it's so to answer your question, we have no idea why she did it. We can't guess this. This is not
who could know what lies in the heart of this woman?
Who knows? But what I would like, why I brought the question is to encourage you to be strong. And when someone asks you to remove a condom, to really, really think about it, no matter how sexy and hot it might seem or is, to be like, actually, you know what? I'm going to keep it on. And then, but like, you could still, like, I've slept with people who.
Whoa, wait, you slept with people?
Once or twice I have had sex.
Jesus.
And they've been like, oh, I want you to come inside me. You can do that while wearing a condom, right? Like,
well, yeah, but
I know, like you can, but like you can go through all of the motions of making them beg for it, making them ask for it, and like finishing inside someone, right? Like there's enough of like you can role play it out without actually doing it, like without any of the risk, and like that's something you can talk about with your partners if there is sort of like that desire. Same thing with like if they want to be ejaculated on somewhere specific, you just coordinate it. You could still do these things with a condom on. Like condoms come off. You can take it off and do it if you want. It might take a little practice, it might take a little dexterity and finesse. But like, I don't know. I just want to encourage you to, if a partner has a particular fetish involving how you finish, to navigate that safely without giving up your desire to wear protection.
yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of men find it hard to say no because you're often ridiculed if you do. Oh, I don't want to have sex today. And then everyone's like, what the fuck's wrong with him? Like, oh, it's like you have as much right and allowance and everything to say no as a woman, as anybody. So if you don't want to do something, exercise that right. If they have a problem with that, they don't deserve your dick anyway. Don't get caught. And it's like, hey, if you want to do it, sure. You know, you got to weigh up your risks. You got to act in your best interests and just be aware of the costs, of the risks, and make your own choice.
Exactly.
We advocate to make the safer choice. But as previously stated, we don't always, all the time. You know, it's all about mitigating risks, being aware. But take care of yourselves out there. And also, don't be afraid to say no if someone asks you to do something you are uncomfortable with. On both sides of the table. On every fucking side of the table.
The table is a big circle. It's a big circle table.
Damn. Just like time.
Just like time.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is Charlie Cat 93. How to tell an Andrew Tate stan. I'm not interested. I, 29-year-old female, went on the second date yesterday with a guy, 28-year-old male. When we first met, it was at a bar. We had a great time. So when he asked for a second date, I was happy to go. But that all changed once we were out. On the date, he kept quoting Andrew Tate and stating how women need to be submissive to their husbands. He said he wants to be just like Andrew. He idolized the guy. He kept asking me questions about my dating history. He even got jealous when I mentioned I have a personal trainer who's male. He took my picture without asking, sent it to his friends. I expressed I didn't like that since he didn't ask was okay, and he claimed since we were on public property, he can take a picture of whatever he wants. I told him I didn't like that. He shrugged it off and refused to delete it. He also flipped off the barista that served us our coffee at Starbucks and thought it was funny. I should have left him when he did that, but I was his ride. When I was talking about a wedding I have to go to in a couple of weeks, he asked who was getting married. I explained my best friend and her longtime boyfriend who have 3 children together. They just want to make it official. The guy asked what the roles were in the house, and without thinking, I told him the boyfriend works while my best friend takes care of the kids at home. The guy I'm with applauded it and said that was how it should be. He also talked about how my best friend needs to make sure she keeps her figure right to keep her man happy. I asked if the husband behaves poorly in the relationship, cheating/lying, etc., doesn't she deserve happiness in the relationship too? He stated if the woman stays in her place, those issues will never happen. If the husband cheats, there's a reason for it. He told me I need to ask myself, well, what would she do wrong to make him cheat? At this point, I was ready to take him back home. I made an excuse to end the date early and take him home. Later, he told me he liked me and wanted to see me more. I don't know how to let him down without him possibly blowing up. He showed childish behavior too while on the date. I wouldn't put it past him if he tried to be petty and act like an ass. I'll be running into him again since my friend is dating his friend. Also, we live in the same area, so my chances of running into him again are pretty likely. How do I let him know I'm not interested in seeing him again?
Good Lord. Good Lord. You have the patience of a fucking saint.
Yep.
I've straight up called dates because they were assholes to the bartender.
I would be out.
Nope, not at all. Especially, like, there's one thing to be, a dick at a bar, which is, terrible and unforgivable. Mm-hmm. There's another thing to be a dick to the bar, like barista.
Yeah, Starbucks. It's like, what are you doing?
There's no tipping culture there. You know what I mean? Like, we as bartenders have thick skin because we know at the end of the day we're walking home with like $300 in our pocket. So, like, whatever, be a fucking asshole. I don't care. I'm making money and everyone else on the bar is chill. It's like, I'm going to make fun of you, probably to your face and also in front of your friends. So whatever. But like, the fuck did a Starbucks barista do to you? Get the fuck out of here.
Also, like, you're sober, presumably, in a Starbucks, and it's bright, and they're just like working for minimum. Well, I guess Starbucks has more than minimum, but at least benefits. I don't know. Either way, it fucking sucks. This person sucks. I don't enjoy that. And I wonder, remember we had that question ages ago about the flirty Starbucks guy who flirted with did this happen? Were they like, hey, here's your latte? He's like, fuck you, bro. Fuck you.
Maybe it is our just absolutely charismatic barista.
Yeah, he struck again.
Like, that alone, that singular incident would be enough for me to call it. And then to sit there and listen to all of that and like, hey, look, it doesn't matter that you're his ride. I would have left the dude there and be like, cool, you're a strong man, right? Or shouldn't a guy have a car? Isn't that a traditional male, archetype, stereotype thing? Why am I driving around? I don't have to do that. You should be driving me around. Why didn't you pick me up? And then I would have just left.
I will add to the bullshit in the comments. The poster lets everyone know that he was also an actual martial arts instructor and kept talking about how he could easily overpower her. Super cool.
Yeah.
So I guess, the whole point of like not having him blow up, unfortunately, massively appropriate in this situation, because this doesn't seem like 100%. A person who's going to take anything well or cool.
Yeah, honestly, I would say I would literally just it sucks you're going to see him again. It sucks that your friend is dating, his friend or whatever. Mm. But at this point, I think you just need to be like honest and straight up via, text and be like, hey, didn't really feel the spark. Thanks for your time. Good luck out there. And just leave it at that. You know what I mean? Like, keep it very short, keep it very simple. Don't get into all the don't be like, hey, I thought you were disrespectful, blah, blah. Like, don't get into any of that. Don't give him any ammunition. Don't, throw kindling on the fire. Just be like very polite, very, very brief, and get out of there. And then if he's a fucking lunatic, tell your friends. Right? Be like, hey, I went on a date with this guy. He's getting real fucking aggro with me. Mm-hmm. And I just want you to be aware of that.
And also, if he does send you fucked up shit, don't be afraid to contact the police. You know what I mean? Like, you can never know how this is going to go. But I think what Dane's saying is great. You might want to let them know where they're going wrong. You might want to, in the hopes of changing them in the future and making them better. And unfortunately, your safety is far more important than you trying to probably in vain help this person or help the future women he's going to meet. It's not your job. Your job is to be safe.
I wouldn't even say that, like, I wouldn't want to help I would want to just, like, lambaste. I would just want to be like, hey, man, you're a piece of shit. Like,
yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is,
yes,
as much as you would feel this urge, and I think a lot of people would want to say that to make them stop, to make them realize,
Yeah.
Or anyway, your safety is paramount. So I think you could just be like, oh, sorry, I just didn't feel the spark. Thanks very much. And like, if he presses you, just be like, I don't even know if you should say like, oh, we have different values.
No, I would leave that out of it.
I would just leave the entire thing. As Dane said, no ammunition, no kindling, just be vague and be like, oh, thanks very much. And then like block.
Yeah, exactly. That would be my advice, is to keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it so like cookie cutter. that, you know, he could see you giving that to, you know, the same liberal cuck that I'm sure he hates.
Yeah. So just like leave it, and then maybe just don't be alone with this person.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe, you know, for the first little bit until, you know, he changes targets on social group outings, be like, hey, is little Tate Jr. going to be there? If he is, I might skip this one.
Little Drew Tate.
Little Drew.
Also, if anyone listening is like, hey, that sounds like what I do, don't fucking do this. Don't be that fucking dude.
I would be shocked if you listened to Andrew Tate and it resonated with you, and then also listened to us.
One would be a mistake. Like, you'd either accidentally clicked onto our gun episode and we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, congratulations for sort of like getting the whole picture. You know, like you're getting both sides of the pie.
Doing their own research.
Yeah, so I guess good for you, but I think we are pretty much antithesis to much of what Tate is talking about.
I would hope so.
But we should move into some Tinders. At the end of the show, we like to peruse online dating platforms such as Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, The Right Stuff, and comb through.
Man, I fucking wish we had some Right Stuff profiles.
I wish. I'm really tempted to get on there. The problem is, I think that the men's profiles would be absolutely choice. And the problem is, we can't be gay. So I would have to pose as a woman, which I'm not against. Anyway, we look through the profiles on these platforms. We see what works, what doesn't work, in an effort to make your online dating experience a little more enjoyable.
Okay. So I've got something a little different for this. Okay. You're going to rate a message someone sent to someone after they matched with an older woman on a dating app.
Okay.
Right? And this is technically a question, technically a Tinder. I think it bridges the divide. So I'm just going to read you the question. This is by SC666YDo, like Devil Scooby-Doo, I guess. How's this message come across? How to respectfully ask for a casual relationship with an older woman. 26-year-old male looking for 40-plus-year-old woman. Haven't had a girlfriend, limited sexual experience, only had sex about 10 times, always very drunk, and never in the context of a loving relationship, just one-night stands. Only started on dating app, matched with some older women, typed out this message to send, being completely honest. Do older women, and women in general, appreciate this level of honesty, or do I come across weird and desperate? Hi. I don't want to waste your time or lead you on, so I'll tell you my situation and exactly what I'm looking for. I haven't been intimate with someone for a few years, and I wasn't ever great at sex. I would love a beautiful woman like you who's a bit older than me to show me how to be the best lover I can be and how to give a woman lots of pleasure in bed.
Yeah, man, that's not the...
It sucks. It sucks so much, dude.
That's not the way to go.
It's demeaning. It's reductive. It completely kind of like takes them away from... out of the equation, apart from their age, their gender, and the fact that they can fuck, I guess. Yeah,
you're just like, hi, I would like to use you to fuck until I'm good at it. Thank you.
Also, I'm bad at sex, so come fuck me.
Am I angry at the very underlying intention of being like, I would like to meet someone who would be a sexual mentor for me? No, I'm not angry at that. I think your approach is weird. I think it's bad. I think you're doing a bad job.
You're doing a pretty shit job.
This is a conversation that can be had, I think. But first you need to find someone that you connect with. You need to talk to them like a normal fucking person and not just a how to have sex for dummies guide that has legs. I think you need to go on a date with them, connect with them, and then you can be like, look, you know, I'm inexperienced, blah, 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 talking. And again, not use this person as like your punching bag or like your training dummy.
Your sex doll.
Yeah. And just be open and honest with them in a sexual relationship. And those things will come as a result of it. Yeah, right? If you just ask questions, if you're like, hey, what do you like? And as you're, you know, if they're like, oh, I want you to use your fingers right now, and you're fingering them, be like, does that feel good? Or, you know, tell me how you like it. Yada, yada. Like, if you ask questions, you're going to get the same experience without, as Nell says, like reducing them down to like an object that you're going to use to benefit yourself personally at, you know, no great reward to them.
Yeah. So you can go with other women you deem more important, which is basically what you're saying. So I think step one is not thinking about older women in this way. I don't know if you do, because it very much sounds like you do. And if that is the case, you need to fix that before you move on. Step 2 is not sounding like you think of women in this way, which when you've done step 1, you need to work on. Step 3 is you're overthinking this whole fucking thing. Just in your profile, say looking for something casual. And then you've kind of done all that. And then, as Dane said, when you meet someone you like, when you go out on a date, at some point you can let them know you're inexperienced. Boom. You're done. Like that's how you do that kindly. And you probably don't even have to unveil that fact if you don't want to.
Yeah, it's a simple conversation, like as things are getting hot and heavy, just a simple like, hey, I really want to make things good for you. I want to please you. Mm-hmm. So I'm giving you I'm giving you the open communication to like, let me know what you like. And if you want me to do something different, you just let me know and I'll do my best to accommodate for you.
See, that's
most
fun.
women are going to be
That's
very happy to hear that.
Yeah. Like that's how you do it well. This approach is so bad. So do what we said.
And like right. the different, like there isn't a whole lot of difference between what we just said and what you said, but it's so much better at the same time. So yeah, just treat people like normal people. And then once you get to a place where you want to have sex with them and they want to have sex with you, just open a direct line of communication. And be receptive to advice, and like you'll get this sort of like sage wisdom you're looking for. And I'll tell you right now, they don't have to be older women. This myth of, the sagely older woman to guide the young inexperienced man, it's bullshit. I guess since that was kind of like a question Tinder hybrid, let's do a few quick Tindies. Now, I actually don't know if we've done this before, but we might have. This is Anna. I'm dyslexic, so my spelling is awful, but my oral is immaculate.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Is there a joke I'm missing with the oral being immaculate?
I think they're saying because, like speaking aloud, they can't write, but they can speak aloud fine, because dyslexia doesn't affect that.
Yeah, okay. But it can.
No, it's not a great profile.
Okay.
It's not,
yeah, give it a 5.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just like, okay, you've tried, you've did something, I guess, but unless your one-liner joke is an absolute fucking banger, I would rather just have a slightly more boring. Because like the only thing I could really throw here is like a blowjob joke or talk about oral, which. Yeah. I feel like isn't my vibe, so I'm probably I don't know what else to open with what you've given me.
Or make a dyslexic joke, which is.
Yeah.
I don't. I think it's a bold move to just have a joke, because that joke needs to fucking slay, or else you're like, and you move on. At the very least, give me some fucking details about yourself as well, because then that would save a bad joke, or at least soften the blow.
Especially if the joke is so sexual, in nature, because you're just opening the door to like nothing but sex jokes or comments or whatever. And it's like, if that's what you want, okay, that's fine, whatever. But like for people like me, that's not my vibe. That's not my flavor. I'm not going to be like, I'd like to see how immaculate it is.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like you're giving even the people who don't want to just be sexual almost no other avenue.
Yeah.
It's just like, hi, how are you?
Yeah, I mean, those are your options, right? Just like, hello, or you're hot, I want oral.
Yeah, not the best profile. All right, this is nameless. About me. I don't want my time wasted, 2 upside down smiley faces. I'm looking for something serious. No hookups or sex. I overuse emojis. Yes, I smoke emoji. 22, devil emoji, tongue emoji. I should probably add in here, I'm 6 months pregnant emoji. Looking for something serious. Been
What's
single for 10 months.
Emoji?
It's just like a woman holding her belly.
Oh, okay.
While pregnant. Looking for something serious. Been single for 10 months. I love coffee and being outside. Peace sign emoji. Party emoji. I also have a pic of my car, but I lost it. So please drive. Crying laughing emoji.
Huh?
I also have a pic of my car, but I lost it. So please drive. Crying laughing emoji. Obviously.
Very concerned about the future of this child, because you shouldn't be leaving your kid in your car, but it does seem like you're able to lose an entire car. I'm worried that you're going to forget the kid in that car and then also lose that car.
Hey, you know what's easier to lose than a car? A kid.
It's a small child.
A small
little
child
baby.
that's like, it's smaller than a car. So already,
Significantly.
yeah, already it's squishier than a car. You could like squeeze it into spaces too. It can squeeze itself into spaces and move by itself, which a car can't do unless you forget to put the brake on, which
On a very steep hill.
wouldn't put it past her. This is like a 1 for me.
Nothing good about this one.
No,
Like
I don't.
I've been single for 10 months. It's like how long you've been single
No, I
shouldn't
Yeah.
shouldn't factor into like whether or not you should be in a relationship. Like you should get in a relationship when you find the right person and you're ready.
Exactly.
Not
Yeah.
because X amount of time has elapsed. So like already they're also 22. So like they're young and haven't experienced anything.
Well, they've experienced pregnancy.
I guess that's true.
You know?
Either way, not for me.
No, it's a 1. Like, this is awful.
This is Madison. Pros. I will happily spend all my money on food. Cons. I've spent all my money on food.
Like kind of funny. But again, it's like, are you actually telling me you've no money? Because like that seems shit.
Yeah, is your next line going to be like, pay for me, spoil me?
Or are you just telling me you're really bad at managing your life? It's like, how seriously am I supposed to take these jokes?
I don't take them seriously at all. I think
don't
it's
know.
cute. I like it.
don't
I'm
know.
giving it a 7.
I don't know. I think it's code for I am bad at managing my life. I'll lose my car. Also, I'm pregnant.
I think that is the thing.
I'll give it a 6. It's just a joke. It doesn't really give me anything, and it's funnier than the other one. So, okay, here's Steph. Steph has a Bumble profile, and Steph says, "I got banned from Tinder. I'm here now."
I would absolutely like anytime. I would love to know how you get banned from Tinder. I feel like
Yeah.
I know how I could get banned from Tinder, but banned
As a
like,
woman, yeah.
yeah, that's my thing. Is like as a lady getting banned from Tinder, you've probably got to do some pretty wild shit.
Like probably some very wild shit.
Well, actually, you know what? That's not true. A friend of mine has been like permanently banned on Tinder, and they gave no explanation. Like they didn't do anything. They like hadn't taught. And it's just like
No, that's just what they say.
no. Apparently Tinder just like bans accounts, and then like when you try to appeal it and be like, hey, like take a gander, they're just like no.
Now the thing is, that's what someone who did something real fucked up would say. Like, oh no, there's no reason.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
So it's a 10, right? Because you know she freaky if she got banned
Yeah,
from Tinder.
she crazy. Speaking of freaky, this is Kiara.
Okay.
I'm into that freaky shit, just so you know beforehand. Either at the gym or home. Don't think you can handle that crackhead energy. I just want to simp for someone, or I just want to simp with someone. I enjoy thrifting, fashion, gaming, cosplay, music, etc. Tinder won't let me change my age. Sad face. I'm actually 18. I enjoy thrifting, fashion, gaming, cosplay, music, etc. Body like a Greek goddess, but the mentality of a goofball.
Did they repeat their likes twice?
Yup.
Okay.
What a goofball thing to do.
What a goofball. I don't love the phrase crackhead energy because it's pretty demeaning and also still not a great thing, I would assume, either.
Yep.
They're into the freaky shit either at home or at the gym, or are they unrelated sentences?
I think they're saying
That they are either at home or at the gym? Okay,
they're one
do
of
they
those
not
two
work?
places.
I guess they could work from home. It's a post-pandemic world.
Yeah.
I don't love it. Overall, it seems a little try-hardy. Also, what age is listed?
20. So
So that means they've been pretending to be 18 for 2 years on Tinder?
they joined on as when they were 16.
Yeah, that's really red flag vibes.
Yes.
So
That
I'm going to give it a 0.
is no bueno for me.
Yeah. Like lying to people that you're 18 when you're underage, super not fucking okay.
Yeah.
0, 0, 0.
Yep, that is where I would draw the line too. That's going to do it for this episode, friends. Thank you very much for hanging out with us this week, this early morning. It is 12:30 p.m. It is
really
afternoon.
not.
It is
It's very-
afternoon.
Don't tell them our shame. I was just thinking, I was like, damn, people are going to be like, wow, I wonder what time it is. And then you just went and ruined it.
But we appreciate you being here, regardless of what ungodly early hour that we got up and
Hey, guess
recorded
what?
this one. Huh?
Guess what?
What?
Last Wednesday, the 5th of October, we've been doing this podcast for 4 years.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
That's a crazy thing to say to me,
Fucking
especially this
wild.
early.
I know. So thank you to everyone who's been here. Earlier the better. But you know what? Doesn't really make all that much of a difference. Is this
No,
your
we'll
first
take it.
episode? We fucking love you too. Thank you to Namibia. Thank you to the Philippines. OG number 1.
OG
country.
number 1. if you'd like to support the show, please head on over to fbuddiespodcast.com. Click the Patreon link and choose a tier that works for you. If you hit us up at that $7 tier, you get a bonus episode at the end of every month called Pillow Talk. There is, you don't just get one. I believe we're up to 13 or 14 now, and there will be a new one coming at the end of October. So you get a whole back catalog of all of our previous episodes as well. If you want to support the show and you need a little bit more of your boys.
Right now, yeah, I think we have 14 episodes, which means each episode will technically cost you 50 cents, and you get to support us, and you get almost a full day of content from us.
And think about it.
Honestly,
think about it this way: the longer you stay subscribed, the cheaper the episodes get.
It's true. It's true. So please come support us. We would fucking love that. Thank you to Josh Eagle and the Harvest Cities for their song "Paper Stars." And you ready for some bad sex writing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Why do you sound sad?
I'm sad it's over.
That's fair. Well, we can keep going. We'd make this an uber long episode.
No.
Okay.
No, thank you.
This is a tweet I saw today. I figured it would work. I don't know if I should reference the person that tweeted it out, so I'm just not going to. And they say, I've just gotten a dick pic in my DMs. This was the message. I've got it minty fresh for you. Let's put that beautiful mouth of yours to good use. Open wide. And the gentleman had smeared toothpaste all over his penis. Fascinating.
I was going to say, minty fresh is fucking weird thing to call your dick.
Not if it's smothered in toothpaste.
Not if it's smothered in toothpaste. Like, look, I promise you that man regrets that because...
I bet that burned.
There's no way it didn't.
Why? Well, okay, guys, buckle your shit in. Buckle up. I don't know what you're doing out there, but this is not it. This is not the way.
Could be, though. She didn't say she didn't like it, though, did she?
She was fascinated.
Fascinated. My name is Dave Miller.
And I'm Mal Spain.
We've been your fuck buddies.